Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorraine Stewart David. I am the Detroit chapter president. I do have some information in the back on the Detroit chapter, also on Ms. Washington that I printed off. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Come up and tell a little bit about yourself. But before I say that, was that part of your slide? Okay. I only knew that because Keith called me. You know how you do. Everybody in the room know how you do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself. She do have some slides and she'll talk about everything when she's here. I'm glad you're here. Did this have to be here? No. I'll go that way because y'all know I'm falling over it. I'm just saying. Thanks for coming. Watch these doors.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Washington. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm in the 9th grade. I attend Grosse Point North High School. I started Ecotek in the 7th grade, and in the summer of 2015, I went to Michigan State for an alternative energy camp. There we learned about solar energy, wind energy, and biogas. There I received a $2,000 pre-college scholarship for the work that I did there. And in the summer of 2016, I went to Purdue Polytechnic for an IT camp, and I received a certificate from there. So my career goal is to be a game designer and a product engineer. Okay. So the difference between product and computing and design is computing uses analytical and numbers, and design is more on the artistic and creative side. Some computing softwares are Excel, SAP R3, and MATLAB. And some designing softwares are Unity, AutoCAD, Tinkercad, and MeshMixer. And the cool thing about Unity is that it's a game designing software, but also you need to use coding. So it kind of combines computing and design. Unity also allows you to have an asset store, so you can buy and sell scripts, codes, and objects, and anything you want from there. So computer-aided design, or CAD, is basically a program which allows you to create 3D objects. I use Shoemaker E, and it allows the user to create a shoe by connecting lines and to create the material. MeshMixer is a CAD program that lets users create objects by molding them into the shape that they want. It's kind of like virtual clay. Tinkercad is an online program that is geared more towards beginners because it doesn't allow you to mold objects, but you create objects from making holes in the object. So you use primary shapes like squares, triangles, circles, and things like that to create your object.
When you design, do you start from scratch or you take something that's already made and modify it?
You can do both with CAD. There are programs like Thingiverse where you can go in and get objects from other creators, and you can put them into your CAD program and change them or modify them, and you can also just start from scratch and create a completely new creation. So the 3D printing market is actually really huge. It's expected to reach $30.19 billion by 2022. Some of the major companies are Autodesk, Stratasys, and SolidWorks. Autodesk owns a lot of CAD programs like Fusion 360, AutoCAD. They also own MeshMixer. Stratasys supplies 3D printers and materials, so it supplies 3D printers and filaments. They also allow you to order prints, and they'll print it out for you and ship it back to you. They also have learning tutorials for things that, they have learning tutorials. And SolidWorks is a very advanced CAD program geared towards professionals. It's very difficult to use and very expensive. The careers in 3D printing expanded a lot. We have software design and manufacturing. And also, along with the 3D printing market, is 3D printing in schools. A lot of schools have for their students IT classes and design classes. I am in an IT and design class where we learn all about 3D printing. We even built our own 3D printers, and we learn about Tinkercad and all types of different CAD programs, and we create and print our own objects. So here we can see how the forecast for the market to go up through the next few years. In 2020, it's expected to be over $20 billion. So that's really interesting to see how 3D printing businesses in your local area can also help the economy in the area. So 3D printers, they come in all different shapes, sizes, and designs, but they all have these basic components. The frame is one of the most important parts. It's what holds the entire 3D printer together. And the X, Y, and Z axis is what the extruder is held upon. So the X and Y axis work the same as on a regular printer, but the Z axis is a vertical axis that gives the printer dimension. So that's what allows it to create an object layer by layer because it moves up and down. The hotbed is what the objects are printed on. The hotbed in a CAD program is called a work plane, but on an actual printer, it's called the hotbed. And the filament is what the object is going to be eventually printed out of. They have different filaments such as ABS, PLA, and even now they have filaments like Filaflex and NinjaFlex. And these are filaments that are flexible, so they work as a rubber. And they're most often used in fashion, so they're used with shoes, bracelets, and even like shirts and pants and clothing like that by artists. So my work with design. I have created a shoe design, a water filter, and many projects at school. So with the shoe design, I was intrigued on making a shoe design because I learned about Filaflex, and I wanted to see if I could create an object that would eventually be printed out and be wearable in a flexible filament. Because I worked on this about a year ago, and I've never heard of a flexible filament. We've only had hard plastic filaments. So I think that it would be cool to try to design something that would be compatible with this filament. I also created a water filter. It's a very basic water filter, but I was inspired by the Flint water crisis. It kind of caught my attention because it was so close to where I lived, and seeing how that affected so many lives and people just really made me want to do something about it. And so I studied water filters for a while, and I created just a basic water filter that would only block out the sediments. It wouldn't take out anything that was chemically in the water, but it was a step forward. And some of the projects that I've done at school have been adapting an object that's already created to make something new. So I went to Thingiverse and I took a coffee holder and I adapted it to be a non-electronic iPhone amplifier. So you would put your phone in there and it would amplify the sound. It wouldn't be as loud as a normal radio, but it was a way to do that without having it to be electronic and wiring it up. Another thing that I worked on was trying to find a way for an elder person to do something easier. So I picked arthritis to be my main focus, and I adapted a door handle extension so that elderly people wouldn't have to twist their arms, their wrists while they open the door, but instead just pull down and the door would be able to open. So I took some pictures from online, and I used Tinkercad to create a door handle, and I put like finger groups in it so that they would be able to grip it really easily and open it. So that was the project that I did at school in my IT class. So my future plans are to be a game designer. I want to learn how to code, specifically JavaScript and C#, because those are the two main coding programs that Unity uses. So I'm comfortable with Unity as a game development software. So that's what I want to start doing, and also plan to go to the NASA VR camps. I got this from Rhea Harris. She works in Ecotek with me, and when she came back from California on her NASA trip, she told me all about the things that she learned in virtual reality and augmented reality, and I really wanted to learn that for myself because right now I'm working on a virtual reality lab, and I wanted to learn how I could better that lab for myself. So that kind of gave me the initiation to want to do that. I also want to go to MIT for a summer. I just think that would be a really good school because I've already been to Purdue, and that's a technology school. So I want to just broaden my horizons and look at other colleges that I could possibly go to. And I think MIT would be a perfect choice because it's surrounded by technology, and I feel like it would give me a lot of ideas for future projects. I also want to be part of the 2017 BDPA National Convention. because also Bria Harris attended that, and I want to see what other people are working on and just see all the other people in the United States, what they are doing with technology now and how I can broaden my horizons. Also, the lessons that I've learned have come from a lot of the colleges that I've visited and Ecotek, because I've learned how to work with other people, and not only work with other people, but take initiative in my own projects. And I've learned how to do background research, and it's really helped me to focus on my projects and be able to not only do it individually, but also do projects with other people. Are there any questions? Yes.
What's the most interesting area when you started doing 3D printing as far as projects? You had a lot of different projects. What was the most interesting?
Yeah, so I think the most interesting one was actually in school. So it was out of Ecotek, but building the 3D printers was interesting because it's more than, well, we got them shipped out to our school, and the instructions weren't very detailed, so we had to like figure that out on our own. And even now that the 3D printers are built, we still have a lot of problems with it, so we have to figure out and work out those kinks in the machine, and that's probably the most difficult challenge I've faced so far.
I was hoping you were going to name me a new product that you have on the
Okay. Not exactly. Are there any other questions?
Can you show us some of your designs in Tinkercad?
Yes. So, oops, okay. Here I have my water filter design, and basically the way I designed it was this cap to screw off, and you would put activated charcoal in it because it blocks out a lot of dirt and stuff, and it doesn't affect you when you ingest it. So that would go in there, and it just blocks out, bigger particles. It's not supposed to be like chemically blocking out things because the hose wouldn't be able to be small enough to block out those sediments. So. Yes.
And this is online, it's not
Yeah.
software downloaded to you?
Yeah, I created this on Tinkercad. Are there any other questions?
So do you do a lot of Java, so Java is C#?
Yeah, that's with Unity. That's a gaming design software.
So you feel pretty comfortable writing, you enjoy writing code as well?
Well, that's what I'm trying to learn now. So
Okay.
that's what I'm getting into. I'm more comfortable in actually designing 3D objects, but I'm trying to get into game design. So that's why I want to go into code, and that's what I've been trying to do for the past few weeks now.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Where does this go? Where do you put it?
Oh, okay. So this whole part goes into a water bottle. So basically, what I thought was you would be able to go out to like a pond or a stream and pick up water in a water bottle, twist this onto the into the water bottle, and just drink straight from it. Yeah. So this would be the part that you would be drinking out of, and this would be the part that would actually go into the water bottle. Yeah, this took me, I'd say about 2 or 3 days to create, which is why 3D printing is such an important thing in our society, because we can create an object in a matter of days instead of waiting and trying to get it approved by other people and spending money that I could just have done it myself instead of trying to take it to someone higher than me. I could be that person for myself. And that's what's so interesting about the market is it's so instantaneous. We don't have to wait for prototypes. We can create our own prototypes for a much cheaper price. And the market is extremely beneficial for not only consumers but inventors, because consumers can get parts that they would have to order online or somewhere else for so much money, where we can just print it out for like a few dollars. And business owners, they can create their own 3D businesses where it would be so much easier for them to obviously create their prototypes and test their objects without having to go up to a higher person. Is there any other questions?
Where's the shoe?
Okay, so the shoe is on my other computer, and we had technical difficulties, so yeah. The interesting thing about the shoe is that I wasn't able to get it printed out because the printers, we were going to use manual lift, but their printers aren't big enough for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the downside of some 3D printers. Like normal 3D printers that you can just buy out are not as large as some people would need them to be, but there are a lot of 3D printers. There's even 3D printers that are printing houses out of concrete in some countries.
Give it a try. It looks like it's making
Also, Tinkercad, do you have that doorknob thing for the
Yeah.
patients with the arthritis and foot injuries?
Okay, so the idea is this would go over the doorknob, and these would be the little grooves for a hand. So instead of a regular doorknob is circular, and you would have to twist your arm, and for some people with arthritis, that's a very painful movement. So I thought it would be easier to just be able to pull down instead of twisting your entire arm around. So even all of the measurements on this is sized up for a regular doorknob. This is about 2 inches, so in millimeters that's a little bit different, but I hope to have this 3D printed at school because this is what I designed at school, but right now the 3D printers aren't really efficient enough for me to be able to print large objects like this. We can only print smaller objects because they have so many complications right now. So that's a little downside of 3D printers when you build them yourself. So, but yeah.
Get a 3D printer as a Christmas gift?
Eventually, yeah. Yeah.
So what is the typical size that you can print now with your printer at school?
About 2 by 2 inches. That's the only that's like the biggest we've printed so far.
Okay.
And our class is the only printer that's actually been able to work so far. So I guess that's good for us. I guess we just built it better. But that whole process was actually interesting because we had to tie it in with like advertising it. We had to make the money to buy the printers. So they were about like I think they were 1,000 each, or the entire project was 1,000. So we had to raise that money, and then when we finally got the printers to be shipped in, the entire class worked on one printer. So my group, we worked on the frame. So that was like one of the easiest parts, but people had to work on the belt and the XY axis and the extruder. So it took us about 2 to 3 days to build, which is actually kind of fast for that big of a product. That big of a product. So I guess I was impressed by my class's skills because I didn't know how far other people had gone into 3D printing and how much they knew about 3D printers. So we did pretty good with that. Let's see if I can pull up.
Now, since you're interested in VR and Unity, I will get with your mother. There's a VR and AR group that meets regularly, and they do occasionally seminars on Unity and other 3D software. They had one Tuesday. I couldn't make it because that was the day Comcast came by to put in our phone system at work.
Hey, don't feel bad. I missed to do the politics at work.
Because that's definitely a hot field if you want to go into augmented reality, virtual reality. Yeah, definitely your gaming skills will be used.
Is that filament stuff expensive?
It's about $30 per spool, but you would have to like choose a specific one because there's a lot of different brands and types, as I said before, but they usually run for about $30 a spool. So even the filament is super cheap. So you can, in one spool, you could create this entire shoe. So it's a lot of filament. So
You go to Micro Center locally to buy that. Or you can just go online, but locally just go to Micro Center and pick up a spool.
okay, so this is the shoe that I created. I created this mostly in Shoemaker E, but that's that program crashes often. So it took me a long time to be able to actually get a product because I would get like maybe 5 minutes into the product and it would just crash. So I would have to like save constantly, but I brought it into a mesh mixer to like smooth it out and tie up some of the rough edges. So this is basically just kind of like the outline of a shoe. as I said before, this wasn't able to be printed because of the size, but when it comes to bigger objects, you can always size it down and just print it out as like a test or like a prototype, and then go to a larger 3D printing company and try to get it 3D printed. So, yes.
Pardon for interrupting. So this is software-based installed on your computer?
Yes, this is Meshmaker, which is owned by Autodesk, and Autodesk has a lot of different CAD programs. They even have some for your phone. So like, and some are even directed towards kids, so you can just go on your phone and create an object and have it 3D printed out. But usually the process of 3D printing is finding a file or creating your own object, and then after that you import it into a program and you slice it. So the program slices it into layers. So this would probably be over like 500 or something layers. They slice it into very fine layers, and that's when it's printed out layer by layer. So this is the entire shoe. And I like Shoemaker E, even though it crashes a lot, because it gives you kind of a basis of a sole. And then basically what I did was I just like drew lines, and then the lines I kind of like molded it all together, and it created the materials. And also I was able to do like the holes in it, and they also give you options for piping and all types of different details, because Shoemaker E isn't really for 3D printing. It's just to create an object. It's just to create the shoe object, and then you would have it actually made into like regular shoe material. But I kind of changed it, and I downloaded it as an STL file, and then I was able to install it into Meshmaker to be 3D printed. So that's the shoe. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So I did have another question, I'm sorry. You said that you want to attend the national conference, and what would you do at the national conference?
I was hoping to show my virtual reality, because hopefully by then I will have it running up and finished by then. I've been working on it since the beginning of the year, so I'm not that far. Yeah, I'm not that far in it, but it's very difficult. Even though I have Bria Harris to help me with it, I still have to like go through the kinks and learn the program, and it's really difficult, especially with the code. So I've been trying to learn that as efficiently as I can, but it just takes a lot of time. So.
Because what happened, at the national conference, they have like a high school computer camp, and then they have, what else? Mobile apps.
Yeah, mobile app development.
Mobile app development, and then they have an IT showcase. And the IT showcase students that showcase their products, you know, what they're interested in. They put it on a board. They have, their projects are judged. For 2 years, Detroit has won. Our students have just killed them. So I'll definitely, work with you on the information. Our board of directors are here, which we all attend the conferences. Andre, Tech, you can help with whatever. But to get you there, because my goal is we're going to have a high school computer competition team going this year. And I'll also be taking 3 students to be in the IT showcase and also the mobile apps. So we'll be looking for the students and selecting students and going through the process January, February. Okay. And we always look at the Ecotek students because I partner with them to, because they more lab work. You know, our students in our program is more of the other tech side. Yeah. But overall, I can't do none of it. So I want to throw it out here. So I'm going to present you with something, a little something.
Go slow.
Well, I already walk slow, Andre.
Go slower.
You really want me AARP. I know how to do it. This is just a BDPA bag, little bag, I'm here
our conferences, so we kind of hold stuff in there. And this is one of my cards, keep that by the side. In case you get in trouble at night. And this is just a certificate from BDPA of appreciation for you coming and presenting at our meeting today.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. This is a ninth grader. This is a ninth grader. We also wanted to recognize her mom that's here. So,
And dad.
And your dad that's here. This is just wonderful. We love these students like that. So we'll also get some pictures like that. And like I said, we'll definitely be in communication with you. I'm in communication with Keith, who is over the Ecotek program, like every other day. So, you know, we kind of push students and definitely want to push you into going to the national conference with us. So that will be good. So get your project together. And it's a lot of things. The competition is there, but like I said, you know, Bria and Amber, they went there, they sat down like, okay, next, you know. And, where was I at? I was at a meeting and who came and got me? I was in a meeting, Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, where's the chaperone of that student, you know? And so they were looking for her, and she met with them. So it's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity locally, but that's like our national conference that we hype up. And we do hype up students from Detroit because we do kill when we go. I'm just saying. I don't like to just say but I thank you for coming. So if you all have any more questions for her?
I have a question. Do you guys have a hard time finding people to support and help you out for technical issues, or how to write Java code?
You
or
say that a little loud.
I don't.
You say that a little loud.
Why is that I'm just wondering if you guys had issues for technical support. So I mean, being tech council, there's a lot of challenges you guys have, and how to make the Java code work right, compile. You know, how do you interact with pieces, or whether it's whatever other mobile app development things we can do with C#. Do you guys have a hard time finding people to help
Personally,
work through the code and stuff like
yeah,
that?
I feel like I do. In Ecotek, the only two people that really work on computer science is myself and Bria. So I try to like ask her for as much help as I can, but at a certain extent, I have to kind of just learn it through trial and error. So it is difficult because there's not, in Ecotek, there's not a lot of people that know a lot about it, but that's why I'm trying to learn on my own. But it's also difficult trying to learn on your own because there's just so many different ways you can learn it, and it just gets really confusing and difficult at sometimes, but I'm just trying my best right now. So. Yeah, and everyone studies in different areas, so they're like, yeah. So it's very good.
I just wondered what your support team was and make sure you had, you know, obviously there's a lot of people in IT and.
But it's easier now because I am in the IT class at my high school. We didn't have that at the middle school.
Oh.
So having a teacher that knows how to code is a lot easier than having no one. So it is easier at the same time.
Do you do side projects for money?
Exactly. She would do that. She would do that. Yeah. She sure does. Yeah, she sure does.
Of course.
Right. Yeah.
Christmas is coming. I mean,
You gotta be enough zeros.
2 by 2, I know exactly.
Gotta be enough zeros. I ain't trying to be about a student, though, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, we warrant all the help that we can get. Like I said, our, with the mobile apps, the national mobile apps director is out of Detroit.
Okay.
And so she do it on a national basis. We always looking for volunteers with our HSCC program, which we're getting ready to start that up. And that's really more techie, computer type.
Yeah.
The program that Ms. Washington is involved in. Ecotek, they're more a scientific lab, you know, putting stuff together that type. So I think y'all make me some shoes or something. So that's it.
Well, I have this is a site that Autodesk is put together for K through 12, but any age can go to it. It's called Project Ignite, and it shows you how to do 3D design, working with electronics,
And there's
tutorials. It's all free. It's K through 12, but if you don't know it, it's still good. Good site to learn.
Which program was that?
This one is called Project Ignite at Autodesk.
Ignite.
Yeah, so just Google Ignite Autodesk, this will come up. So this one, it'll show you like to choose some Tinkercad. It has Tinkercad tutorials, also has tutorials on learning basic electronics, and tutorials on using what's called the Arduino board, which is a microcontroller used for Internet of Things devices. And what's so nice about that one, you can simulate it on here, break it, figure out what's wrong, then get the real device and hook it up properly, so you don't fry it. Because they're cheap, but if you're at a school, that each little $30 device costs. So it's a second if you're interested, or your kids, something you can even let your if your teachers don't know, it's something they can sign up for free. And you're looking in the Unity too. I think just Google Unity. I think there's a lot of tutorials out there.
That's been helping me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one thing right now with this internet age, that online education, it's your fault if you don't want to figure it out. Because it's all out there and a lot of it's for free. It's good content. Now, it's not the old, okay, they took the book, scanned it, and put it online. It's more interactive. It definitely helps you learn. So that was just all. I just want to let you know, so that's available. So if you got kids in school and they want to learn about electronics and all this tech, this is a good way to get them involved, because it's great. It's set up for all grade levels. So if you're advanced, you can go to the more advanced part of the tutorial, or you can start at the beginning steps and work your way up. Okay, now back to Lori. Throw that in there.
We're not going to have an information exchange meeting in December. We have a holiday mixer in December the 8th. And so the information is in the bag. It's a holiday mixer with about 9 other organizations in the city. Nancy, Black MBAs, a whole bunch of, is it more than 9?
Yeah, it's more than 9.
Okay, so it's growing and growing. Every week we add on another group of people. But this is our 6th annual Toys for Tots drive. And so you pay $20 at the door, or you bring a toy. And we did this with professionals all around the city of Detroit for the last 5 years. So this is our 6th annual. It's from 6 to 9 on December the 8th. That's on Thursday. So our meetings will resume in January. And that's about it. If you didn't sign in, please sign in our sign-in sheet in the back. You also get some information on this Washington and Detroit chapter. So we look forward to you coming next year. I do have some. You want to go? We can go around real quick. What time is it? We can go around and see why you're here, what brought you to BDPA,
Questions, concerns,
any questions,
ideas.
concerns, ideas of topics.
Money.
Money. I look for money. I am a finance person, so I always look for money. So count the money first. But you know, you can just kind of stand up and let us know your affiliation and why you're here, want to see you with why you decided to join us. Starting with Andre.
Oh. Hi, I'm Andre Brooks. I'm a past member, and I need to turn my name soon.
Exactly.
I had my IT career started in Detroit Police Department. I used to be a co-op programmer. And I got, we had a former president, Diane Davis, who passed a few months ago. Who was being written up in the Detroit Free Press. There was a career fair at Cobalt, and I got excited reading it. I said, I need to hook up with BDPA. And eventually I did, and it helped me to advance in my career, and it allowed me to do a lot of other things because of the skill that I acquired attending BDPA and being chairpersons or committee person for various committees. So on the surface, it's a very humble organization, but it's a very powerful organization at the same time. And I sure appreciate the opportunity of being around people that help me to advance and grow. Right now, I'm retired, and we're building a literacy lab at St. Cecilia School over on Stearns and Livermore. The library closed down, gave it to Charlotte Library, so it's not an internet facility in that community. So we're trying to get something, plus the high literacy rate, we want to do something to put a little dinner in that. We also have a program where we donate computers to underserved students and certain nonprofits, et cetera.
Go ahead, William.
I'm just gonna put the camera back on Cliff because people are probably already sick of seeing my face on YouTube and Google Plus already. So anyway, William Bowen, work full time with the government doing various IT work. Recently did a little bit of multimedia as well. Also work part-time at U of D Mercer as an adjunct professor. Currently teach the cybersecurity classes and actually right now doing a few classes on interface design. I was actually starting the winter semester. Then on top of that, I'm also a personal trainer / fitness instructor to go on everything else. Don't worry, I'm not going to pull these type of stone cold stars on people when I train them. All right.
Oh, no, that's there. That's okay. It's okay. It's for anybody in the room. We just want to know what brought you here. If your daughter brought you here, that's the...
Yeah, I'm David Washington, and I came here to support my daughter and kind of learn what she's doing, and I don't know anything about it.
Exactly.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm a painting contractor and a radio disc jockey.
Oh,
okay.
So you're into the technology different on the radio side and all the changes that's been going on in that arena.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I do this thing?
All you can do is about to I'm falling.
My name is Janelle Jones. I've been in BDPA for about, I was in for like 2 years, and I took a 2-year break and I was back. I went to grad school, so that's why I left. I went to grad school, came back. Various roles. I was secretary, and now I'm just kind of here, helping out, filling in where needed. I work at Trinity Health. I do application support for long-term care facilities, and that's about.
So my name is John Brzezinski. I'm supposed to be here with Cheryl King tonight. I'm with Strategic Staffing Solutions, so we're a consulting firm. So we do work with DTE, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Trinity, and a bunch of other places. So just come here to see what's going on. Cindy Paskey is a big supporter of everything in Detroit, and so it's just, I think, being in IT, I was 20 years as a program manager, so I know a lot about IT, mobile development, done all this stuff. So even doing the training stuff is pretty cool. So thank you for really being that great, doing all the things you're doing. So that's really neat.
S3 is a contracting company, so they're looking for people. So if you have IT skills or management skills, see him.
Hi, I'm Sharon Doss, and I am a board member for BDPA Detroit. I've been a member here for a while, and I started in IT a long time ago in Chicago, really long decades ago. But I was introduced to BDPA first in Chicago. Right now I work at Fiat Chrysler Automobiles as a IT product IT project manager with Mopar, which is our parts division. So that's all you for me.
My name is Tony Crook. I'm a guest, and actually started off as a computer engineering, probably about, maybe myself, 25 years ago. And decided to try my hand on the business operations side, and done things like 11 years at Henry Ford, a couple years at Blue Cross, some IT consulting, and recently tried to get started with a home nursing assistant program, kind of competing with these males a little as far as serving the senior public. That's starting to fall apart, and I'm looking to get back into use my roots back in my engineering side, particularly the cybersecurity side is what I'm doing right now. So, any suggestions for cybersecurity? Go to this class.
No, but it's needed. It's needed.
So Williams class to me is just kind of your member.
And also there's a security group that meets, you can check them out online. And you're part of meetup.com, just scan through there through various groups, because they just had a meeting Monday, and they were talking about how to get into the security arena, and met the head of the Henry Ford. She's head of their security, so I'm trying to bring her into BDPA.
Mary Phillips?
No, Jane.
Oh, Jane Harper.
Yes, so you know what, okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Elisa Harris, and I work in human resources at BTE Energy. And BTE, just in case you didn't know, one of our IT people at BTE Energy, Tobias Ward, you know her? She's in information protection. Right, she won a national award, Women of Color in STEM. So she just won that national award for Women of Color in STEM here. So she competed against 150 people all over the nation, and she actually made it. And she's so humble. I put in her application, did everything. Come on, so humble. So she never would have even entered. We are always looking for good IT professionals at BT Energy. I'm not sure if we still do, but we had a position open for IT security just recently, as recent as last week. So I'm not sure if it's still there. We're looking for talented people, and we're looking for young people. I assume you're from Ecotek. And so my daughter was in Ecotek, and I know how hard Mr. Young works with us. So again, when graduating from high school, and we want summer jobs and that type of thing, we want to be there to help you guys get into DBT. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Richard Townsend, and I'm security.
Best job in the house.
Yes, I'm Brian McRae. I've been coming to these BDPA meetings for a couple of years now as a guest. Happy to report that I finally got into the tech hire program at Focus Hope.
Oh, good.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Clifford Samuel Jr. I'm currently the Vice President of Technology Automation here at BDPA. I've been involved since last century. My day job is with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. I do network and desktop support for the Detroit STD Surveillance Office down in Midtown. And when I'm done at work, I work at BDPA. I also work with Digital Detroit Justice Coalition. Also do work with the Digital Stewards Program, which we set up wireless mesh networks throughout the Detroit neighborhoods. And I'm just all around geek, so you'll see me at a lot of these tech events. So if you recognize me, I've been there. So I stay busy, and I have to do a shout out for my wife Karen Hudson Samuels. She's putting together a museum for WGPR TV, and that should be opening next year, January, at the original station on Jefferson, so keep an eye on that, especially if you're in radio. I don't know if we'll get Mojo and Mojo's, but we will have some artifacts from Mojo in the museum.
Wow.
So I will keep you online, just check, I'll post it on Facebook, wherever else, I can put it on our website when that event occurs.
So I guess that's about it. I'm just Lorraine, I'm the president of BDPA. I've been affiliated with BDPA since 92. I came on in 92 when the conference was here. And I'm a finance person, my degrees are in finance. I came on and said, they just want to help with their books, and I've been stuck ever since. So, switched careers a year and a half ago. I'm an administrator of 4 nursing homes, long-term care in the city of Detroit. And yes, that's interesting. So, I wanted something that would keep me a little less busy, but I'm 24/7. I still contract with Plant Moran. I contracted with them for over 15 years, so I'm still doing work with them. When they call and they flashing their money, I go, so still doing, finance person. So I mentor young ladies. I mentor high school young ladies. I have 4 going on now. Yeah, that's another job. So they call me before they call the mama or the daddy. I don't like giving this advice. You're gonna get a beat down. So I mentor them. So that's going very well. I really like that, and that's why I like to see the youth. I'm very interested in the youth and coming up. Techie, I'm not really techie, and that's why I go to them. And that's why I had to get an iPhone. I had a BlackBerry. They get an iPhone, whatever. So. They keep me going with the technology. BDPA is a really nice, great organization. It is a national organization, so we get job postings for everybody. I'm getting calls from everybody and people looking for jobs and want to post on our website. We're in the stages now. Cliff is the techie person, so anything happens, we just call Cliff. And Andre just a given. We call Andre all the time. But this is our website. We're gonna revamp our website a little bit so that we can get more jobs on the website. Most of the jobs are pulling from the national BDPA national organization. They have a job board. We're pulling from nationally, but we're gonna pull it from locally. We're gonna get into more of that. But we do welcome people that do come to our IT information technology meetings. You can always bring flyers, you can always bring information on different jobs that you have open, because we warrant that. Or give me a call, send me an email or something, and we can post on our website. And I think that's about it. The next upcoming thing, what I'm really doing now is getting prepared for our HSCC program, which is due to start maybe in February, end of January, February. Getting that going. We'll be getting information on the other programs, especially the IT showcase, because I get my students, I come on. So I'll be getting all the information. I'm involved with the National BDPA, so I go to all the meetings and everything, so I stay informed of everything that's going on. The national conference is going to be in Cincinnati next year, July the 26th, I believe. So you'll be getting more information on the national conference. And that's about it. Anyone have any questions for me?
You mentioned what nursing home, I'm sorry, long-term care facility.
Long-term care facility. Several of them in Detroit. Which one?
I'm telling you, Isis, mommy, I'm a nurse, so.
I have 4 sisters that are nurses.
Huh?
I have 4 sisters that are nurses.
Oh my God.
So,
But I work in the field. I do home health.
okay. I'm sorry. You really want to go in a nursing home?
Oh, no, I've done that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
It's very interesting. But
Yes,
That's
it
needs
is.
nurses too.
Huh?
That's needs nurses
They need
too.
nurses too.
Oh, yes.
So,
Just so
none with me, I mean, you know, nursing home is totally different than hospitals.
Oh, it's totally
All my
different.
sisters are pulled from the hospitals.
Oh, they don't
come
know
to the
anything about
nursing
it.
home. That's a different ballgame, guys. I love the young people, I love the elderly, so. I got suckered in. I was doing a contract for one of the nursing homes, helping them with their finances, bringing up their new business. And I kind of got pulled in on that area. I kind of went from there. So I'm making it happen.